Welcome to the Narrowing Path, Walking the Spiritual Walk. My name is Stephen Ben Einstein. Thank y'all for joining me again today for July 18th reading from James Allen's Daily Meditation. Now, I'd like to start out with just saying I checked the podcast episodes, and for some reason, the 17th didn't post yesterday, and I'm deeply sorry about that. I'm not sure where that got hung up or that snafu happened. So I just posted it again right before I started today's. So you're going to have two to listen to it. It will be labeled July 17th. That is when it was recorded. And it will be about that date, obviously. But it got posted now. So I apologize for that confusion. I'm not sure what happened there. But it's up. It's ready for you guys to listen. And I appreciate your patience with that. I'm grateful that at least we got it up and the information was there. So this will be for July 18th that we're talking about right now, obviously. So we'll get this will be fresh to you and fresh to me, meaning that this will be the first time that I hear it or read it right on this podcast with you. So you'll get my genuine response, reactions, observations, and what I relate to about the reading. So I'm looking forward to it. July's just been one winter after another. Really strong stuff. So I'm excited to see what the 18th brings us. And here we go. This will be the daily reading from James Allen Daily Meditation for July 18th. Wisdom is the highest form of skill. There is one right way of doing everything, even the smallest, and 1,000 wrong ways. Skill consists in finding the one right way and adhering to it. The inefficient bungle confusedly about among the 1,000 wrong ways and do not adopt the right one when it is pointed out to them. They do this in some cases because they think in their ignorance that they know best, thereby placing themselves in a position where it becomes impossible to learn, even though it be only to learn how to clean a window or sweep a floor. Thoughtlessness and inefficiency are all too common. There is plenty of room in the world for thoughtful and efficient people. The good workman, whether with tools or brains, speech or thought, will always find a place for the exercise of his skill. Skill is gained by thoughtfulness and attention. Well, that's a fun one. It just immediately reminded me of a saying that it's pretty common saying, I think, but specifically around the rooms of 12-step recovery groups is contempt prior to investigation. Meaning that we'll just disregard any help or any instruction because we just think it won't work or it's not the right way to do it, or a plethora of other reasons, but we won't even put the effort in to attempt at that point. So it's a very limiting thing, and it really robs us of the ability to actually learn. And I think that's what he's talking about here. So let's go ahead and we'll go through this one line by line. It opens with wisdom is the highest form of skill because it's a knowing. It's a knowing how to do things rightly. It's a knowing how to execute properly, right? And it's knowing how to go about doing those things correctly too. And knowing which things are the wrong way to do them and why. So it's pretty significant at the end of the day. Wisdom is the highest form of skill. I agree with that. All right, now to the main body of this. There is one right way of doing everything, even the smallest, and a thousand wrong ways. I mean, that's true. You know, there is a right way. There's some people that modify it and try to take different ways, and usually all that does is extend it. Even if it gets you to the place you want to be, it usually only extends the problem, right? At least that's been my experience with it. Skill consists in finding the one right way and adhering to it. So not deviating from it. When we find the way that gets us, that the proper function or the proper way we need to be doing something, we stick to it. We don't deviate. There's no reason to do it better. I guess sometimes in the world of material, processes can be improved. So you have to be open to that, right? Talks about that a little bit later. But in general, you'll know the right way to do things. And when you find that, you stick with it and you do the right thing and you do it the right way. I think that's one of the biggest things we miss out on today is people think if as long as the same goal is achieved, it's okay. And sometimes, you can get away with that, but not all the time. Not all the time. The inefficient bungle confusedly about among the thousand wrong ways and do not adopt the right one when it is pointed out to them. So that's I'll figure it out myself. I don't need any help. You don't know what you're talking about. That's what that sounds like. Just in case you didn't know. When the right way is pointed out to us, right? We still, and it's been my experience, I'll still try to do it my way. I'll still bungle about, as it says, confusedly among the thousand wrong ways. Sometimes I think I do it on purpose. My mind doesn't want to let something go or accomplish something. So it lets me just meddle in my own affairs. It lets me just screw things up for myself. And though I might consciously be saying not to, subconsciously, I still have a belief that causes me to do that and disregard the good intentions and the right direction I've been given. So they do this in some cases because they think in their ignorance that they know best, thereby placing themselves in a position where it becomes impossible to learn, even though it be only to learn how to clean a window or sweep a floor. We're talking about ego here. We're talking about arrogance here, right? We're talking about that I know what I'm doing. I know how to do this. I don't need any instruction on these things. Just being so close-minded and assured of our own processes that we won't even entertain the idea of doing it differently. Even for the smallest of tasks. Honestly, sometimes those are the more difficult because how hard can cleaning a window be? How hard can sweeping a floor be? And we're so assured of our own capability in that manner, we won't listen. I won't listen unless I do it unless I purposefully say, well, what's the other way to do it then? Right? I have to intentionally make myself willing to hear it. I like how we said it earlier in that impossible to learn becomes impossible to learn because we're just closed. We got that box checked. We're good. We don't need to talk about it anymore. We don't need to hear about it. Let's move on, get this done. And I can understand why people do that. And sometimes, that is the best way. But being open to hearing other ways is important, I believe. I really do. If not for any other reason, but to assure yourself you are doing it the right way. All right. thoughtlessness and inefficiency are all too common, right? We do things because it's always been done that way, and it can be to make things, and that reasoning and anything done with that reasoning and justification, though there might be good reason for it that has been lost along the way, it should always be questioned, I believe. Like, why do we do it that way? Why we just do? I usually will question it and take a look at it. Now, maybe I shouldn't be doing that, and I'm just being difficult. But sometimes saying, when you could say this is quicker and more effective, why aren't we doing it this way? Well, we've always done it that way. Well, can we entertain this way? Right? Inefficiency and thoughtlessness. So, in consideration, in regards to what is available, in regards to what can be done, or what needs to be taken into account, are all too common. And as we grow and we modernize and technology advances too, those are things we need to leverage in our lives, right? But to be honest with you, when we're talking about spiritual things, when we're talking about living right, it's all been known, and the most effective way to do it's been known for a long time. And that's kind of what we're talking about here. But in the material world, there will always be the possibility that something might have changed, or a new development, or a new process that could really help. So there is plenty of room in the world for thoughtful and efficient people. That's reassuring. If you're thoughtful and efficient, there'll be a place for you, that's for sure. I don't want to say those seem to be in rare supply these days, but the more of them we get, the better, I believe. And I'd like to consider myself one of them. But those are qualities to strive for: being thoughtful, being efficient. When we're talking about proper allocation and direction of energy, efficiency really comes into play here, and thoughtfulness, right? We have to consider what we're doing. So the good workman, whether with tools or brain, speech or thought, will always find a place for the exercise of his skill. So if you have skill, that and you do things well, you do things efficiently, you do things right, there will always be a place for you. There will always be a place for somebody who has wisdom and refinement in their area of expertise. Right? Wisdom is the highest form of skill. That's what we opened it. Right? So good workman, whether with tools or brain, speech or thought, will always find a place for the exercise of his skill. There will always be a place for somebody that is open to doing things differently if it is more efficient and better. So, all right, and this one closes with: skill is gained by thoughtfulness and attention. So, doing things mindfully, right? There's a big movement today about mindfulness and being present with what you're doing until you become so efficient at it, until you've found and practiced the right way of doing something, that it becomes automatic then, by habit. But never so arrogant as to deny entertaining the possibility it could be better, could be more efficient. Keeping that open mind is just so important. So, skill is gained by thoughtfulness and attention. That's been that's how I've done it. That's how I've gotten skillful at anything. It's thoughtfulness and attention. Being mindful of what you're actually doing. So, well, all right, we'll go ahead. We'll end that one there. And that, I believe, is our 200th episode. July 18th is episode 200, which that's really cool. I'm really excited about it. So we'll be starting into the 200s a little bit further tomorrow, and we'll see where the rest of July takes us. But it's been a great month so far. And again, I apologize for yesterday's. Not sure what happened there. But hey, you get two to listen to back to back today. Get an extra dose. So enjoy them. Enjoy them. They were both fantastic readings. Yesterday's is focusing one's energies. Oh, I loved yesterday's. Yesterday's was really about that quiet time in that hour and getting up in the morning and using our time wisely. So I hope y'all enjoy both of them. I thoroughly did. And we'll be back again tomorrow. So until next time, thanks.